Hello. This video is about attacks of fear. I'm doing it outside, this video, because I said what a better place to get rid of fear but being out in nature. So I do hope you see a lizard run by, or I hope you see a bird up in the sky, or if you listen really carefully, you'll hear the cicadas are there too. So let's just start about you. What's the usual way your fear presents itself? Is it sweaty palms? Is it heart pounding? Is it inability to move? Is it inability to leave the house because of fear? Stop and think, how do your attacks of fear strike you? And soak into that, let it just come and remember as much as you can. So right now we're going to use tapping to clear these, or at least let you release this fear. We don't have to know why it's coming up, but the main thing is we have a solution here. A solution that can be used prior to leaving the house, prior to getting out of bed in the morning, when you have your breakfast coffee. Sit a minute and clear this fear out. So you'll notice I'm tapping on the karate point, and let's start with a simple thing. Even though I am so fearful at times, I deeply, completely, I love and accept myself. So even though this fear overtakes my whole life, and I can't seem to do anything, I forgive myself for this amount of fear. So again, this fear, do I have to know why it's come up right now? No, not right now. We'll work on that later. Little stories will come up as you tap, and it might give you an idea of why you get into this panic attack, this fear attack. But right now we're just going to say, even though I have these fear attacks, and I'm afraid I'll have one later today, I deeply, completely, I love and accept myself. Now, as you know, different tapping people do the tapping differently. I usually start at the top of the head. These attacks of fear. These attacks of fear. These attacks of fear. Then if you want to, take one or both hands where the eyebrows start. These attacks of fear. These attacks of fear. Then side of the eye, on the bone, this fear that comes from who knows where. Under the eye, on the bone itself. Whoa, I am afraid, I am afraid. Under the nose, under the nose. These attacks of fear. Chin, just in the little groove below your lips. This fear I feel, this fear I feel. Am I ready to release it? Am I ready to let it go? Collarbone, collarbone, where your you is, and just below there, to either side. And I like to tap with both hands, or go, whoa, this fear, this fear, this fear. And then under the arms, about 2-3 inches down. People say the middle of the bra line, but a lot of you men are not wearing a bra, so just a couple inches down, and it may be very sore. Tap here and say this fear, these attacks of fear. And I still like to do Gary Craig's bottom of the rib cage here, bottom of the rib cage, as well as I like to do the wrist together, either side. You could do them backwards, frontwards, and then come back to the top of the head again. Take a deep breath, take a deep breath. If you haven't had any water today, please do get some water. Stop a minute, go get some water. I'll wait. We'll listen to the bird while we wait a minute. Okay, let's go on. I want you to use the tapping first thing in the morning, even in bed before you get out of bed, and listen and pay attention to what stories come up while you're tapping. So that's number one. Just do it as an automatic thing, and even without any words, truthfully. Just tap and see if we can rearrange some of those neural circuits that are going through your head. Another time to do it. You know you're meeting friends for lunch. You know you're meeting friends for lunch. Tap before you go out. Tap before you go out. Or even if you're out at the grocery store, out shopping, out doing other errands at the post office, whatever, excuse yourself a minute. Go find a ladies' room and tap for a few minutes. Go back to your car and sit down and tap for a few minutes and calm yourself down. When else to do this? Well, I prefer at nighttime. I really like to go to sleep with a sense of peacefulness and letting all anxieties go, letting all fearfulness go, letting everything go, and releasing, and intending that I'll have the best sleep ever. Okay? So let's start with morning. Okay, you're just waking up. Even though I'm worried that I'll have a panic attack today, I intend to not have any. I intend to trust myself and my gut, and I intend to go through the day calmly, quietly. And I love and accept myself anyway. So even though these panic attacks have been a problem, I am intending today to let that fear go, to release that fear, to realize I have nothing to worry about. So even though I used to have these, and I maybe will have one today, I'll be forgiving myself and loving myself entirely. So again, from bed, before we even get started, hey, even though I have these panic attacks and I don't know why, I deeply, completely, I love and accept myself. And I forgive myself too. Top of head. Let's use a color purple. Eyebrow. And you can use one hand or both hands. These fear attacks. Side of the eye. These fear attacks. Under the eye, on the bone itself. These fear attacks. Under the nose. Fear. Fear grabs me. These fear attacks. Under the lips, in that little crevice right here. These fear attacks. Collarbone, but not really collarbone so much as just below the U. And as I say, I like to do both hand. These fear attacks. And then under your arm, you can either give yourself a nice hug and keep tapping under the arm. These fear attacks. Rib cage, bottom of the rib cage. And then wrist together. And then take a deep breath and say, okay, how am I feeling right now? What's going on? Give yourself a chance to relax. Then get out of bed, then go do your regular life. Brush your teeth, shower, get yourself ready for the day. And remember, before you go out with friends, before you go shopping, before you go gardening outside, before you go to the post office, stop a minute and say, wait a minute, how am I feeling? Would I like to tap a bit to be as calm and as fresh as possible? So talk to you again soon. All the best.